Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in. And let's start off with this tweet here from Stefan Huber over on Twitter, Learziet. And he is saying, did he really say the Ripple settlement next week will have catastrophic consequences for crypto? Is it because Ripple will settle and not work further to give the rest of the space clarity? Would at least explain your latest odds take on the case. Oh man, next week. And this is talking about a December 15th settlement. Now listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Do not get your hopes up. We have seen things like this in the past. You know, Charles Hoskinson is not some, individual that knows everything and all this kind of stuff. But, to me, I always take anything like this with a grain of salt. Settlement dates, we have been hearing settlement dates since December of 2020, right? We heard settlement in February of 2021. We've heard, summer of 2021, the fall of 2021, winter of 2021. Then it was, okay, the first quarter of 2022. All right, the summer, and then from now on, it's always been like March of 2023. Like March of 2023 has been, in my opinion, the most logical time frame. But now we're seeing December 15th, and it's because of this clip. Listen closely.
I've heard rumors that the Ripple case will be settled December 15th.
Remember, rumors, not facts. Rumors. Could it happen? Sure. Will it happen? We don't know.
And we'll just see, and that could have catastrophic implications for the industry, one way or the other. But you just keep moving forward. Regardless of what happens, it's a decentralized ecosystem that you guys control. And the United States of America doesn't get to say that Cardano lives or dies. You do, the world. Okay, that's the point of decentralized ecosystems. And we're going to work as hard as we can on our side to make that protocol better. But we're just a voice in a chorus. There's 15 other development companies. There's an MBO on the way. Complete on.
Now, one thing that I do want to mention around December 15th is the time frame. So recently, if you guys did watch my other videos from the other day, I talked about the next major event within crypto and around finance and markets, etc. CFOMC meeting, December 13th to the 14th. Aligns perfectly with a possible settlement around the case. I mean, could this be the next major shift? Who knows, right? Nobody knows. I'm not going to sit here and say that a settlement's going to happen, next week or anything like that. But one thing that I will say is, what if I told you that a settlement will happen for next, year or maybe 2 years? And no, I don't believe that that is the case. Like I said, I believe that the case is done around like March of 2023. I think that the first quarter of 2023 is definitely going to be a big area of focus. By the way, settlement could happen at any time. I've always said this on this channel as well. It could happen at any moment. But what I would like to talk about is a few things. So I seen this tweet posted by Cowboy Crypto over on Twitter, and it was actually talking about, well, I should say it's a video where Brad Garlinghouse is talking about the price of XRP in the time frame. And we actually do see the quote here. I'm not focused on the price of XRP over 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months. I'm focused on the price of XRP over 3 years and 5 years. And this was posted back in 2017. This was from Ripple Swell. We do see, I want all boats to rise. Listen closely to this.
I don't view a lot of these companies as competitors because it's so early that look, we're trying to solve a payments problem, and there's people working on securities and identity and lending, and I love it. I want all boats to rise, and I think that's a good thing. But for us, we're going to invest in the XRP ecosystem. We're investing in the broader ecosystem. We certainly want to see XRP become even more liquid, and I think as we drive adoption, that will happen. This isn't one of the questions, but I want to proactively comment on something. One of the things I say inside the company is I'm not focused on the price of XRP over 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months. Mm-hmm. I'm focused on the price of XRP over 3 years and 5 years. Mm-hmm. I have no qualms saying definitively, if we continue to drive the success we're driving, we're going to drive a massive amount of demand for XRP because we're solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem. Mm-hmm. These payment flows are obviously very, very large. And to the extent we continue to drive success of signing up more banks, introducing them to how we can solve not just a connectivity question with X current, but a liquidity problem, a multi-trillion-dollar problem around liquidity called XRapid, I'm very confident about that longer arc of time.
And one thing that I do want to mention is obviously they weren't, preparing to have an SEC lawsuit dropped on them in 2020, but this got posted back in 2017. We're now, 5 years later. You could argue that we're almost, 6 years later, whatever. The interesting thing about this video is the discussions on the adoption of XRP then, Xcurrent, which is on-demand liquidity, got rebranded. There's a ton of adoption there. There's a ton of adoption around banks and, trillion-dollar markets that they address, which is, cross-border payments. All of this is happening. And I've talked to you guys about how much XRP I believe, should you hold. I think that the more the merrier. If you could afford it, go ahead. Sugarcoat posted this over on Twitter as well, and he said 2 types of XRP investors. A, the ones who realize its future potential and keep buying because they never feel like they have enough, especially at these low prices. I always feel like that. I've talked about this many times, even on Twitter. I say, the biggest fear to me is that I just don't have enough of these assets. It's not, hey, next week I think that the price is going to drop this much, or next week we might see a black swan event of Tether crashing. Like, no, the biggest fear to me is that I understand what's happening around this market. I understand the next major evolution around payments and finance and even crypto, and the biggest fear is just like I don't have enough of these assets. You have a lot of individuals trying to pinpoint the exact amount of XRP or this currency that they want to have. For an example, like B, the ones who want to know what's the least amount they should buy and still get rich. Like, this is not the way that you should be looking at crypto. I've always said, like, the way that I look at crypto is like this is the next evolution of payments and finance. And I think that this video over here is like perfect. Building blocks to the next era of business transformations. Crypto Airy posted this. Shout out to Crypto Airy. And we do see the $65 trillion off the balance sheet debt the BIS issued a report on, with its murky view of just how close we are or might be to a liquidity crisis. In my opinion, will set CBDC narrative into hyper mode because injecting liquidity with today's inflation is not ideal. XRP might help. Listen closely to this.
Now here at Drupal, we've built a CBDC private ledger that is based on the same blockchain technology that powers the XRP ledger, which was built for payments and designed for issuing currencies. Each central bank will have complete sovereignty and ability to customize their CBDC based on their own unique privacy and policy requirements. Neutral bridge currencies like XRP, which is an open source, public, and decentralized digital asset, will play a key role in facilitating such interoperability. And keeping sustainability in mind, the CBDC private ledger is carbon neutral and 120,000 times more efficient than proof-of-work blockchains.
And of course, like, one thing to me that I've always talked about with liquidity and liquidity crises is that, XRP could be the perfect solution for a lot of those liquidity crises that possibly come up that could happen at any moment as well. A big area that I've addressed around XRP is also, it's not about what's going to happen next or what might happen. It's, what we have in front of us. We know at some point in time, things are going to move rapidly around central bank digital currencies, around DLT, around crypto. And I do believe that crypto will play a vital role around a lot of things within, we'll just say the next evolution of the financial system, right? And it's interesting because a lot of people don't realize how big of a piece of the puzzle XRP actually plays if you have done a lot of research on it, the discussions around XRP. It's almost, I always talk about cross-border payments, right? Cross-border payments is the addressable market that we actually have for XRP. It's what we know is a certainty that Ripple is focused on. And, that market alone could change our lives if XRP, we'll say, settles 1% of it, 10%, right? 1 to 10% is a perfect area, and it's not like oh wow, that's never gonna happen. How long is it gonna take for XRP to, like, no, like, that could happen, once we see, we'll say, clarity for XRP, and there's so much more to this, like this $65 trillion worth of debt. And I also seen Kevin Cage post over on Twitter as well. He was talking about the DTCC. and their plans around, the largest DLT initiative. And he said Project Ion, well, I should say he's quoting the article. He's saying Project Ion represents one of the largest DLT initiatives in equity settlement across the financial services industry. DTCC has selected R3's Corda as the underlying DLT technology, private permission DLT platform. This got posted back on August of 2022. Here you guys have Project Ion, the breakdown of it. And then over here, we see the discussions around in 2021, DTCC subsidiaries process securities transactions valued at nearly $2.4 quadrillion. And you also do see a few other things around here about like securities from 177 countries and territories valued at $87.1 trillion. And then over here, we do see a few things around settlement. There's a lot of discussion about atomic settlement, real-time gross settlement, and T+0. Are these all the same things, and how do they relate to Project Ion? And this is just really kind of talking about real-time gross settlement, things like that, end-of-day settlement on trade date. What all three of these accelerated settlement approaches have in common is that they require a significant overhaul of the existing infrastructure, including changes to business models, regulatory reform, and perhaps even the adoption of real-time currency movements, which, again, it's all centered around like settlement and things like that. It's going to be very, very interesting once we do start to see a big move here, and I have been addressing this for a while. Now, as we do see over here, finally, by 2023, DTCC proposes the U.S. settlement cycle to officially move to T+1 with market participant and regulator alignment. The time to settlement equals counterparty risk, which can become elevated during market shocks, and they do address a few things around protecting the financial system and stuff like that. But the main thing that I do want to address with all of this and what Kevin Cage is posting here is the idea of DLT playing a vital role within this. A lot of people believe that it needs to say XRP in order for anything to really kind of happen. I want you all to understand that when we really kind of look at settlement and things happening around DTCC, around SWIFT, around the BIS, around all these major central banks, one thing is clear to me, right? I don't really care if they mention XRP. I know, shocker, right? What I care about is them talking about the underlying technology that makes a lot of these assets very valuable and lucrative as investment vehicles, in my opinion, which is, guess what? DLT technology. The reason why DLT technology is so important to me is because we've even seen reports on how central bank digital currencies could be issued out on private ledger technology because of the efficiencies that they do have to offer. You're having the highest grade security, the fastest settlement speeds, the lowest cost per transaction. Like, these are the efficiencies that you will not get through any traditional system. This is why the next major evolution around finance, around payments, around instant settlement, around cross-border payments, right? Well, $1 trillion plus markets, is probably going to be centered on crypto. And I've always said, like, DLT, in my opinion, will be at the core process of everything. And every individual around you will most likely be utilizing crypto without even knowing it. So as we do focus on that, I just want you all to understand that, like, the long-term game around crypto, a lot of people think that long-term in crypto means 2, 4, maybe 5 years. In crypto, there's individuals that are still holding their Bitcoin holdings from 2010, 2011, maybe even 2012. They're still holding on to it because they see the vision here. They understand the value behind a lot of cryptocurrencies. And again, I just utilize Bitcoin as an example. I'm not saying like, you should go out and, buy a ton of Bitcoin and stuff like that. No, I'm just saying, like, in general, there's individuals that will hold assets for 5, 10 plus years because they see the value in it. And I even share this with Amazon back in the day. Like, you could have bought Amazon during the .com bubble, and then all of a sudden, boom, it burst, and it took years and years and years for it to bounce back, and then all of a sudden, boom, the gains were astronomical after that, if you held long enough. So, again, a lot of issues arising around, like, the XRP price action being stifled from the SEC and stuff, but I do think that we're coming down the wire. I think that, a lot of people are trying to guesstimate, when the settlement will happen. Pay attention to 2023. 2023 is going to be the big key year. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.